If you're a lifelong learner, then this episode is for you, because if you listen to marketing podcasts, mine, other people's, you read blogs about building your business and about social media and marketing, and sometimes it becomes a little bit overwhelming to know what's right for you and what's right for your business, because there is so much out there to learn. This episode is the one that you should listen to. Hey, welcome to the Small Business Made Simple podcast, brought to you by socialmediaandmarketing.com.au. Being in business is never easy, but it can be simple, or at least simpler. Join me, your host Jen Donovan, every week where we focus on marketing, social media, and working towards simplifying your business. You with me? Let's do this.
Dream it big, there's someone out there listening. Everyone's got a voice to give, and it's time I heard you whistling, cause there's no point at all, in dreaming small.
Hey there, and welcome to episode 37 of the Small Business Made Simple podcast. Thank you, as always, for lending me your ears today. I know you have lots of choices out there, and I sincerely appreciate you making me one of them. Today's episode is brought to you by my new downloadable, The Ultimate Beginner's Guide to Facebook Ads. This workbook is full of exercises, tips, and tricks on how to get your first Facebook ad hitting the goals you need it to drive your business forward. So go download it at www.socialmediaandmarketing.com.au/ads. Facebook ads has the ability to change your business forever if we can just get them right. I've really had the great privilege of talking to many small business owners over my time doing this job, and just recently I've done a tour of some rural towns in New South Wales that don't often get attention so far as workshops go. So a shout out to those who came along in Deniliquin and Moulamein and Moama and Tocumwal. You people seriously rock, especially those in Moulamein, a town of a few hundred people that pulled over 20 into a workshop. That's just awesome. Big towns actually struggle to get numbers. So for a small town to do that, you've really got some movers and shakers in that town and the surroundings. But there's one thing I find myself saying over and over again, and it's three little words: for what purpose? And those who know me well are now laughing at me dedicating a podcast to those three words. Well, because I hate them. Well, I did hate them. You see, my very first business mentor used to say it to me all the time, and I mean all the time, and I hated him for it. I remember the second time we had a mentoring session together, and I went back to my business, and my business partner, Jojo, said to me, so how was it? How did you go? And I turned around at her and I said, if he asks me one more time for what purpose, I'm going to shove. And pretty much you get the picture. Yet here I am asking the same question and using the same question to my clients during mentoring sessions and dedicating a podcast to it. So, of course, before I get into that discussion, before I go down the rabbit hole of for what purpose, I want to do the discovery of the week. If you've listened to my podcast or you have joined my world at like-minded business owners or have seen me talk, then you will know I am a super fan of Canva. Canva.com. Now, I believe it was my discovery on my very first podcast that I do, and if you're not using Canva, go do it now. Sign up for free. Well, actually, wait till this podcast is finished and then go sign up for free. Canva is awesome. So it's just done for you templates as far as graphic design go. So as much as I love Canva, I do love to have other things up my sleeve as well, because it's always good to have other creatives you can turn to. On my tour through New South Wales that I did last week, an audience member who hadn't heard of Canva was telling me how they use a product called Poster My Wall, which can be found at postermywall.com. So POSTERMYWALL.com. I had a look and I signed up, and I have to say it's no Canva, but it's pretty impressive. I really liked some of their templates, and as the name suggests, it's for posters. And although, like I said, it's no Canva, they had some really different things in there and some really great creative templates. So if you are a Canva user like me, or maybe you have never heard of Canva, then also have a look at Poster My Wall. Let me know maybe in the Facebook group Like-Minded Business Owners what you think. As always, just a little disclaimer, my discoveries are just that, and I am in no way affiliated with them, but I promise to tell you if I ever am. I just love them. I love the response my listeners give to me regarding all the discoveries, and, well, they make my business simpler. So if you have a little discovery, I would love for you to let me know. You can send me an email, jen@jendonovan.com.au, or just tag me on social media and I will catch it there. I'd really love to know what tools you use in your business to make your life just that little bit simpler. So let's get into the episode. For what purpose? 3 little words that used to drive me absolutely bananas because it made me think, why am I doing this? But it's a perfect question, isn't it? Certainly, it's one I've used a lot in the last couple of weeks. So let me put this in a bit of perspective for you so you can get great value from this question too. Okay, so I stand on stage or out the front of an audience and I talk on this podcast. I do lives on social. I post on my social walls. I talk about social media. I talk about marketing. I absolutely love email marketing and talk a lot about that. And I can talk marketing till the cows come home, giving lots of value, tips and tricks, and my best kept secrets. I try and give you information for where you are in your business, trying not to be overwhelming, but give the next step or just some fresh ideas. But the question you need to ask yourself is, for what purpose? I can stand, sit, yell, talk all I want about driving sales into your business and bringing more leads into your business, but you need to, A, think, how does this relate to my business? How can I make that work? B, is this a marketing idea, a strategy, a tip or trick that will actually work for my business? And C, the big question, if it does work, what does that mean for me? What does it look like for my business? So I'll give you some examples so you can get your head around what I'm talking about here. Let's say you're going to run a VIP night. You've got a bricks and mortar store and you think, I'm going to run a VIP night and invite all my important customers to come and hopefully make a really good event of it. And you might ask me how you can do that and how you should market it. I might say things like do some Facebook ads, definitely do some email marketing. You create an event on Facebook or Eventbrite, which some people call Eventbrite. So potatoes. I might even suggest a few offline strategies as well, such as printed invitations or even a targeted mailbox drop. All these things will work. If worded correctly, if targeted appropriately, they will get you the outcome that you want. You want people to your event. But what you need to ask yourself is, how big do you want this event? How much marketing do you think you need to do to make the event a success? And what does success look like? For what purpose are you marketing? If you have a database of 1,000 people, but your bricks and mortar store is really small and can only really handle 20 people at any one time, like 20 people is all you can physically fit in your store, then perhaps a letterbox drop or a Facebook ad might get too much, and I use that in inverted commas, too much traction, and you simply couldn't handle that amount of people in the hours of your VIP event. Therefore, just because all those marketing strategies might work doesn't mean you should do all of them. You simply couldn't handle the result. Or maybe you're marketing a product. If you have 10 of these particular products, then running a Facebook ad to a sales page on your website targeting 500,000 really targeted people, well, that's just silly. You simply don't have the product to sell to these people. You know, if you can target 500,000 people, and even if only 1% of those people targeted want to purchase your product, you still don't have enough products to sell to those people. If you're in capacity at your business, like real capacity, not busy being busy capacity, then undertaking more marketing to drive even more business your way could be counterintuitive. If you can't service the people that you already have properly, then why would you want to stretch yourself even further by creating even more leads and even more business? If you have a pizza business, for example, maybe you can't physically make any more pizzas. You're at maximum staff and at max with the machinery that you have or the cooking facilities that you have. All these examples of one that I come across in my time as a mentor and business coach. You might be thinking, well, that makes total sense. But trust me, some business owners don't stop to think how their marketing strategies are or will affect their actual business. I think we should all be lifelong learners. So please don't stop learning. Stop listening to podcasts like this one or taking notes at your next workshop you attend or taking stock of where you are, which is your current state, and where you'd like to be, which is your desired state. But be aware and ask yourself every time you go to do something in your business or change something, ask yourself those 3 little words. For what purpose? Just because someone says you should be on Instagram doesn't actually mean that you should be. What's the purpose? Is it to drive more leads? Can you handle more leads? Is it to sell more? Do you actually have the stock to sell more? Can you logically handle more sales? I guess the thing that sits above this horrid sentence of for what purpose is your goals. If you do X, it will lead you closer to Y, which is your goal. Please don't do things because your competitors are doing it, or because someone at a workshop told you must do it, or because everyone else is. You are unique. Your business is unique because you are. And therefore, you need to be doing what's right for you that will help you meet your goals. Yes, we could talk all day about the fact that if you're at capacity, we look at growth strategies. But I think it's one of the misunderstandings of small business that corporates have is we don't all want to grow that much bigger. If you have a store that perhaps you're a florist and you have a store that's going great guns, you have a great income from it, you have a great turnover, and not only that, you actually have a great lifestyle out of your business as well. Just because you're at capacity doesn't mean that you might necessarily want to go and open a second store, because anyone who has done that will tell you that the headaches don't double, they actually triple. So sometimes we don't want to grow. And I guess if you want to grow, then perhaps some of these examples won't resonate with you as much as perhaps someone who is really just comfortable with where their business is sitting. So next time you see a bright, shiny object, or in my family we say squirrel, come across your desk, stop and ask yourself those 3 little words. For what purpose? Learn to love, hate it as much as me. Do you have any questions about this? Well, maybe head into my Facebook group, Like-Minded Business Owners, and let's get your questions going in there. I'd really like to get your perspective on this as to perhaps something you have heard or read or listened to that has sparked an interest in you, and you thought that's a really great marketing strategy for my business. But as you started to implement it, you realize that it isn't something for your business. Maybe it's not targeting the people that you want to target. Maybe it's not going to drive the leads into your business or the qualified leads into your business that you need it to. Simply, I just want you to think about what the purpose is of any marketing or really any business decision that you undertake. I really hope you've enjoyed this episode. I've certainly enjoyed making it. For what purpose are 3 words that I have literally learnt to hate and love at the same time. When I sit down and I use them strategically in my business, I've made some really big choices and I've made some great strategic decisions by using those 3 words. Of course, I will be back next Thursday with more marketing know-how and another great discovery. I would love to have you back next Thursday listening into this podcast. And of course, if you're loving this podcast and you have a couple of seconds to leave me a rating or a review, then I would be certainly extremely grateful. But regardless, I will see you next week here on the podcast. And remember, my small business peeps, as my opening song says, there is no point in dreaming small.
Tell I can feel it, say it proud, be true, and let us see you for the star that you are. No point in dreaming small.